Against the odds, China's SMIC has surged to become the world's third-largest chip foundry, even under heavy U.S. sanctions. How did they manage this feat? What does this mean for global tech and U.S.-China relations? Stay tuned as we dive into SMIC's strategic success and its impact on the tech world. China's Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp, SMIC, has recently achieved a significant milestone by emerging as the world's third-largest chip foundry by sales in the first quarter of the year. This accomplishment is particularly notable given the stringent U.S. sanctions imposed on the company, which have aimed to curb its access to advanced manufacturing technology. SMIC's ability to navigate these challenges and still capture 6% of global chip foundry revenue underscores its strategic resilience and adaptability. The U.S. sanctions imposed on SMIC in December 2020 aimed to restrict its access to advanced technologies critical for producing cutting-edge semiconductor chips. These sanctions have primarily targeted SMIC's procurement of equipment and materials from U.S. suppliers, affecting its ability to stay competitive in the global semiconductor market. Despite these challenges, SMIC has pivoted towards leveraging its existing technologies and focusing on the production of less advanced but high-demand semiconductor products. This strategic shift has allowed the company to maintain its operations and continue serving domestic and international clients, albeit with some limitations. In response to the sanctions, SMIC has intensified efforts to develop indigenous semiconductor technologies through increased investment in research and development. The company has collaborated closely with Chinese universities and research institutions to enhance its technical capabilities and reduce dependency on foreign technologies. Additionally, SMIC has diversified its supplier base by forming partnerships with non-U.S. companies for critical equipment and materials, thereby mitigating the immediate impact of the sanctions. The sanctions have underscored China's strategic imperative to achieve semiconductor self-sufficiency, prompting increased government support and funding for domestic semiconductor firms like SMIC. This support includes subsidies for research and development, tax incentives, and policies aimed at fostering innovation in the semiconductor sector. Despite the challenges posed by U.S. sanctions, SMIC's resilience and strategic adaptations have enabled it to navigate these turbulent waters and maintain its position as a key player in the global semiconductor supply chain. Founded in 2000 and headquartered in Shanghai, Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp, SMIC, has rapidly evolved to become China's largest contract chip manufacturer. Initially established with support from the Chinese government to bolster the country's semiconductor capabilities, SMIC operates several advanced fabrication facilities, fabs, strategically located in Beijing, Tianjin, and Shenzhen, among other key regions. These fabs specialize in producing a wide array of integrated circuits, ICs, ranging from basic logic chips to more sophisticated components used in smartphones, automotive electronics, and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, AI, and Internet of Things, IoT devices. SMIC's growth has been fueled by strategic investments in research and development, aimed at narrowing the technological gap with global leaders in semiconductor manufacturing. The company has collaborated extensively with both domestic and international partners to integrate cutting-edge technologies and enhance production capabilities. For instance, SMIC has forged alliances with equipment suppliers from Europe and Japan to secure crucial manufacturing tools and materials, reducing dependency on U.S. technology amid geopolitical tensions. In recent years, SMIC has also expanded its focus on advanced packaging techniques and specialty technologies, such as RF, radio frequency, chips, and micro-electromechanical systems, MEMS, to cater to diverse market demands. This strategic diversification has positioned SMIC not only as a key player in China's semiconductor ecosystem, but also as a significant contributor to global semiconductor innovation. The semiconductor industry is a critical sector for national security and technological advancement, with countries like China prioritizing self-sufficiency in chip production. SMIC's rise in the global rankings is a testament to the country's ongoing efforts to bolster its domestic semiconductor capabilities amid increasing geopolitical tensions. The U.S. sanctions on SMIC, initiated in December 2020, have aimed to restrict the company's ability to procure advanced equipment and materials necessary for producing cutting-edge chips. Despite these limitations, SMIC has leveraged its existing resources and focused on less advanced but highly demanded products, such as those used in smartphones, smart home devices, and industrial applications. In response to the sanctions, SMIC has also intensified its collaboration with domestic suppliers and research institutions to develop alternative technologies and processes. This strategic shift has not only mitigated the immediate impact of the sanctions, but has also positioned the company to better withstand future geopolitical pressures. The broader context of these developments includes the global semiconductor shortage, which has affected various industries worldwide, from automotive manufacturing to consumer electronics. As companies and governments scramble to secure chip supplies, SMIC's growth highlights the increasing importance of diversifying supply chains and investing in domestic production capabilities. By achieving this significant milestone, SMIC demonstrates its pivotal role in the global semiconductor industry and the effectiveness of its strategic adaptations in the face of substantial challenges. Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp, SMIC, China's largest contract chip maker, has ascended to the position of the world's third-largest integrated circuit, IC, foundry by sales for the first quarter, driven by robust domestic demand. Despite stringent U.S. sanctions, SMIC captured 6% of global chip foundry revenue, trailing only behind Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., TSMC, with a commanding 62% share, and Samsung Electronics, with a 13% share, according to tech research firm Counterpoint. This achievement underscores how SMIC's strategic focus on serving mainland clients has mitigated the impact of U.S. technology restrictions. Added to the U.S. trade blacklist in 2020, the Shanghai-based firm reported generating 82% of its $1.75 billion first-quarter revenue from mainland China, up from 75.5% the previous year and 80% in the December quarter. Counterpoint forecasts double-digit growth for SMIC in the current quarter, fueled by a recovery in domestic demand for image sensors, power management chips, and display driver ICs. The company's shift towards domestic markets has not only helped counteract U.S. sanctions, but also navigate the typical seasonal slowdown in the global semiconductor market. In a noteworthy development, a third-party teardown of Huawei Technologies' Mate 60 Pro 5G handset revealed SMIC's involvement in producing the advanced processor for the smartphone, released in late August. This finding led to calls in Washington for an investigation into the chip's production in China amid existing U.S. restrictions. Both SMIC and Huawei have remained silent regarding the mainland-fabricated Kirin 9000's processor, which has been celebrated on Chinese social media as a symbol of resistance against U.S. sanctions. SMIC's Hong Kong-listed shares fell 2.99% to 15 Hong Kong dollars and 60 cents recently. According to Counterpoint's latest Foundry Tracker report, the sector experienced a 5% quarter-on-quarter revenue decline in the first 3 months of the year, attributed to a sluggish recovery in demand for non-artificial intelligence, AI, semiconductors, such as those used in smartphones, Internet of Things devices, and automotive and industrial applications. According to Adam Chong, an analyst at Counterpoint, there's growing proof that the demand for AI is substantial, as shown by cloud service providers ramping up their investments in AI hardware, with enterprises following suit. It's anticipated that the need for AI chips will continue to be robust until at least 2025, in contrast to the slower demand for other types of semiconductors. For instance, NVIDIA, the global leader in AI chips, reported a revenue surge of over 400% to $22.6 billion from supplying graphics processing units, GPUs, to data centers in the quarter ending April 28, as per its latest financial results. NVIDIA holds more than 80% of the global AI accelerator chip market. TSMC is projected to increase its total monthly advanced packaging capacity by 150% by the end of the year to support NVIDIA's next-generation Blackwell GPUs, the B100, B200, and GB200. Brady Wine, Associate Director at Counterpoint, discussed the possible consequences if access to ASML, a Dutch chip-making equipment supplier, were restricted. He explained that while this scenario is speculative, the effects would be clearly felt. The severity and length of these effects would largely depend on how many repair parts are in stock. A plentiful inventory could lessen and speed up recovery from any adverse impacts, whereas limited stock could extend and exacerbate disruptions, potentially causing more severe operational difficulties. As SMIC continues to navigate the complexities of global markets under sanctions, its progress will significantly influence the semiconductor landscape. What do you think the future holds for SMIC and the global semiconductor industry? Feel free to share your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section below. Don't forget to become a part of the Revel Discovery community by hitting that subscribe button to stay informed about the latest technological advancements and innovations. Explore endless tech possibilities for an exciting future.